Anna owned a small diner in a quiet neighborhood. Times were hard and she struggled to keep her restaurant open. One rainy evening, an elderly man walked in. Though her own bills were piling up, she saw the hunger in his eyes and served him a warm meal free of charge. The man ate quietly in the corner. When he finished, he left something on the table. It wasn't money. It was a simple note that would change Anna's life in ways she never imagined. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Life's Touching Stories. Today, I'm excited to share a new story with you. Anna had owned her small diner for 5 years. It was a cozy place on a quiet street corner with just 8 tables and a small counter. The red and white checkered curtains were faded, but she kept everything spotlessly clean. Every morning, she woke up at 4 a.m. to prepare the food. She made everything from scratch, using recipes her grandmother taught her. The smell of fresh bread and soup filled the tiny kitchen as she worked alone to save money on staff. Business had been slow lately. Anna looked at her bills spread across the counter after closing time. Her hands trembled as she counted the day's earnings. It wasn't enough for next month's rent. She thought about her 2 children at home. Michael was 12 and Emma was 9. They needed new school supplies, but she couldn't afford them. Anna wiped her eyes and kept counting the money again, hoping she had made a mistake. The weather forecast showed rain all week. Rainy days meant fewer customers. Anna sat in her empty diner, wondering if she should sell her wedding ring. Her late husband would understand. The children needed to eat. That evening, the rain poured heavily outside. The streetlights cast long shadows through the diner windows. Anna was about to close early when she heard the bell above the door ring. An old man walked in, his clothes soaked from the rain. He stood quietly by the door, water dripping onto the floor. His gray hair was messy and his coat had holes in it. But there was something gentle about his eyes. Anna noticed how thin he looked. His hands shook slightly as he held onto his worn hat. Anna walked up to the old man with a warm smile. She could see he was embarrassed about his wet clothes dripping on her clean floor. She grabbed a clean towel from behind the counter and handed it to him. "I haven't eaten in 3 days," the man said softly, his voice trembling. "I lost my job last month and spent my last dollars on medicine." His eyes looked down at the floor. "I have no money for food." Anna remembered her first year in America. She had gone to bed hungry many nights, saving every penny for her children's food. The memory of that hunger was still fresh in her mind. She guided the old man to a corner table. "Don't worry about money today," she told him. The man tried to refuse, but Anna was already walking to the kitchen. She turned the stove back on and started cooking. She wanted to give him something special, something that would warm his body and soul. She made her grandmother's chicken soup, the recipe she saved for her own family. The vegetables were fresh and she added extra chicken. The soup simmered as she baked a fresh batch of bread. The warm smell filled the empty diner. While cooking, Anna thought about her own father. He had passed away 10 years ago. This old man reminded her of him, the same kind eyes and gentle voice. She wondered if her father had ever gone hungry without telling anyone. The old man sat quietly, watching the rain outside. Anna noticed he kept wiping tears from his eyes. She pretended not to see, wanting to protect his dignity. She knew how hard it was to accept help sometimes. When the soup was ready, Anna added a generous portion of bread on the side. She also packed some extra bread and cookies in a paper bag. Tomorrow might be another hungry day for him, she thought. She couldn't let that happen. She served him the meal with the same care she would show her own father. The man stared at the steam rising from the bowl. The portion was big enough for 2 people, but Anna knew he needed it. His hands were shaking as he picked up the spoon. The old man took his first spoonful of soup. A tear rolled down his cheek as he tasted it. "This reminds me of my mother's cooking from long ago," he told Anna, his voice soft. He began sharing memories of family dinners from his childhood. Anna sat with him while he ate. The diner was empty anyway, and something told her he needed company more than food. He introduced himself. "My name's William," he said. "I used to be an accountant before the company downsized last month." William ate slowly, savoring every spoonful. "I worked at the same company for 30 years, he said. "When they let me go, they only gave me 2 weeks' pay." His voice grew heavier. "My savings went to medical bills after my wife passed away last year." Anna listened and nodded. She shared some of her own story too. "I came to America, lost my husband, and raised 2 children alone, she said. She told him about her dreams for the diner, her voice getting quieter as she mentioned her current struggles. William finished his meal and sat back with a content sigh. Color had returned to his face. He looked different now, more alive. He reached into his worn coat pocket and pulled out a small notepad. His hands were steady now as he wrote something. Anna started clearing his plates. "Keep the paper bag with the extra food," she told him. William smiled. "Thank you. No one has shown me such kindness in years," he said, his eyes sparkling as he looked around the diner one last time. When William stood up to leave, he placed a folded note on the table. Anna tried to stop him. "You don't need to leave anything," she said, but he just smiled and walked to the door. The rain had stopped now. He turned and gave her one last look before leaving. Anna watched him disappear into the night. She walked over to his table, expecting to find a thank you note. What she found instead made her sit down in shock. Her hands trembled as she read the words on the paper. The note was written in neat handwriting. At first, Anna thought her eyes were playing tricks on her. She read it again and again. Each time her heart beat faster. She couldn't believe what she was seeing. The note wasn't just a thank you message. It was a business card and a handwritten letter. William wasn't just any accountant. He had been the chief financial advisor for one of the city's largest restaurant chains. The company that let him go was a major investment firm. The letter explained, "I have been watching your diner for weeks. I saw how you treat every customer like family. I noticed your dedication to quality food. I've been looking for someone exactly like you, someone with both skill and heart." William wrote, "I have powerful friends in the restaurant business. I promise to return tomorrow with investors. I see potential in your little diner. Your kindness tonight proved you're the kind of person we want to work with." Anna's hands shook as she read the part about his connections. He mentioned names she had seen in business magazines, people who owned restaurant chains across the country. She could hardly believe they would be interested in her small diner. She stayed up late that night, cleaning everything again. Her mind was racing. Could this really be happening? She thought about her children, about finally being able to buy them new clothes, about paying off her debts, about expanding her diner. The next morning, Anna arrived earlier than usual. She made fresh coffee and baked extra bread. Her heart jumped at every sound of the door opening. Each customer made her wonder if they were the investors William mentioned. Around lunchtime, a group of people in business suits walked in. William was with them, looking completely different. His clothes were expensive now. He stood tall and confident, but his kind eyes were the same. He smiled at Anna like they shared a secret. The investors sat at several tables. They ordered different items from her menu. "This looks amazing," one of them said, as they glanced at the menu. Anna's hands trembled as she cooked, but she put all her love into each dish. She remembered her grandmother saying, "Food made with love always tastes better." They stayed for 2 hours, talking quietly among themselves. Anna saw them nodding as they tasted her food. William walked around the diner, showing them the space. "This is where the magic happens," he said, gesturing at the walls and windows. The investors took notes and made phone calls. Before leaving, the investors gathered around Anna's counter. "We want to invest in your diner," one of them said. "Our plan will keep everything you love about your restaurant, but help it grow. We'd like to open 5 more locations across the city." The changes started happening quickly. They hired more staff so Anna didn't have to work alone anymore. They kept all her recipes exactly the same. "Your grandmother's chicken soup will be our signature dish," one investor told her. "It's the heart of the business." Within 6 months, Anna's diner transformed. They expanded into the empty store next door. The checkered curtain stayed, but everything else got a gentle update. Regular customers still came every day, happy to see that the food and service remained the same. William became Anna's business advisor. He helped her understand the finances and contracts. He never mentioned that night in the rain, but sometimes, when he ate her soup, she caught him smiling with the same look he had on that first evening. The checkered curtain stayed, but everything else got a gentle update. Regular customers still came every day, happy to see that the food and service remained the same. William became Anna's business advisor. He helped her understand the finances and contracts. He never mentioned that night in the rain, but sometimes when he ate her soup, she caught him smiling with the same look he had on that first evening. Anna could finally buy her children new school supplies. She moved them to a better apartment closer to school. Michael and Emma were proud of their mom. They helped at the diner on weekends, learning the recipes just like Anna had learned from her grandmother. 1 year later, all 5 new locations were open. Each one had the same checkered curtains and warm feeling. Anna trained every cook personally, teaching them her grandmother's recipes. Remember, she told them, every customer should feel like family. The best part was hiring people who needed help. Anna remembered her own struggles. She gave jobs to single parents and students. She made sure everyone had enough to eat. No one leaves hungry, she told her staff, even if they can't pay. William still came by for soup every week. Your kindness that rainy night wasn't just about the food, he told Anna. It was about dignity, about treating people with respect. That's what makes you special. That's what makes your restaurant successful. Anna kept the note William left that night. She framed it and hung it in her office. It reminded her that kindness can change lives in unexpected ways. Sometimes when she looked at it, she thought about how one small act of compassion had transformed not just her life, but the lives of so many others. One weekend evening, Anna decided to invite William for dinner at her small apartment. After everything he had done for her, she felt it was the best way to express her gratitude. William gladly accepted the invitation with his warm, familiar smile. Anna, William, please have a seat. I know this meal can't compare to the kindness you've shown me, but I hope you'll enjoy this family dinner. William, Anna, just being here with you and your children is more than enough. I've been looking forward to this evening. Michael and Emma ran out to greet William, their curiosity evident. Though it was their first meeting, the children quickly warmed up to him because of his gentle and kind demeanor. As the meal began, everyone sat around the table, and the atmosphere grew cozy. Michael, Mr. William, Mom told us you helped her when things were tough. How did you meet her? William, your mom is a remarkable woman, Michael. On a rainy night, she helped an old man like me, not just with food, but with her kindness. Emma, were you as hungry as you are today? William, yes, Emma, I was. But that night, your mom didn't just fill my stomach. She gave me hope and humanity. Anna quietly listened, moved as she remembered that night. After a while, William began sharing his life story, something he had never done before. William, I lost my wife a few years ago. Then the company I worked for over 30 years downsized, and I lost my job. Everything disappeared so quickly. That rainy night, I felt hopeless, but your mom's kindness changed everything. Anna, Mr. William, if it weren't for you, I wouldn't have been able to keep my diner open. You changed my life and my children's lives. William, no, Anna. It was your kindness that changed everything. You didn't just save me. You reminded me that people like you deserve support. That's why I wanted to invest in your diner. Michael and Emma listened intently, their eyes glowing with pride for their mother. When dinner ended, William stood and noticed an old photograph on the table, a picture of Anna with her late husband. He stared at it for a moment. William, Anna, your husband must be so proud of everything you've done. You're not just a wonderful mother, you're someone who makes a positive difference in the community. Anna, thank you, William. I just hope I can do even more. As William prepared to leave, he turned to Anna and placed a hand on her shoulder. William, always remember, Anna, your small acts of kindness don't just save one person. They ripple out to many others. I'm honored to call you my partner, but more importantly, my friend. Anna watched William leave, her heart full of gratitude. That evening wasn't just a dinner, it was a powerful reminder of how kindness connects people and transforms lives. In that moment, Anna knew her journey was just beginning.